Hey everyone! Alright, so a lot of you know, and then a lot of you don't know, that I went to Paris last September. And so this video is actually going to explain why I went to Paris and then what happened while I was there. And before I get into all that, I have to actually rewind back to last June during IMATS in LA, where I went to an event and the owner of Sigma Makeup asked me if I'd be willing to partner with them and work on stuff with them, and I said, of course, that'd be fun. And then if you fast forward this time to September, I'm flying to Paris. It's insane. So what happened is they actually took myself and 6 other YouTubers and sent us off to Paris so that way we could sightsee and get inspired. And the reason we had to get inspired is we were all creating an eyeshadow color for a palette. And that's what this video is about, is the actual palette that we created. Pretty much what happened is when we were in Paris, we did a lot of sightseeing, and I mean a lot, and it was amazing. We got to see all the major sites that you think of when you think of Paris, and then some. We got to eat lots of amazing food, plenty of amazing restaurants, and it was just an all-out, very, very great experience. And so what we did is, since we were sightseeing, all of us were given a monument. And what we were supposed to do is, when we were at our specific monument, we were supposed to draw inspiration from it to create an eyeshadow color that would go in this palette right here. When you take the sleeve off and you have the palette, once you open it up and look inside, you will see that all of the eyeshadow names are based off of monuments. Mine is that one right there. My monument, as you saw when I just showed you the color inside of this, is the Louvre. It's a huge, huge, huge museum if you're not familiar with it. It's probably the most famous museum in Paris, and there are a lot of museums in Paris, and they're all amazing. But mine was the Louvre, and so pulling inspiration from a museum like that is actually kind of tricky, because you have so much that you can pull inspiration from. There's pretty much every color under the rainbow that is in a museum. So what I decided to do is I actually pulled my inspiration from the museum itself, the outside architecture and just stuff like that, colors that I saw everywhere that were reoccurring. So I took the cream color of the actual building, which is stone. Then I took the color, the brownish kind of color, the brassy color from the pyramids that are outside that have the glass that are the staple that pretty much everyone associates with the museum. And then also another color that I saw almost everywhere inside the museum was actually gold. And so those were my 3 colors that I pulled my main inspiration from. And I didn't really want to do a gold. I didn't want to do a cream. I didn't want to do a brown. I wanted to do something that would actually work well with all of those colors, separately or all together. And then I also had to do something that would work well with all the other colors in the palette, and then also work well with other colors in general, if you want to mix and match with different colors from another palette from Sigma, or just a lip color, anything like that. So I actually made my color teal. It's a nice matte teal, and the reason I wanted it matte and not frosty is I'm a huge fan of matte colors. I'm not really a big fan of frosty shadows. And the reason is, with the matte eyeshadow, you can actually add shimmer to it to make it sparkle. With a frosty eyeshadow, you can't really take the shimmer away, so it's easier to add than it is to take away. So that's why I made my color matte. So if you do want it sparkly or shimmery, you can add it or layer it on top of something that is indeed sparkly, shimmery, glittery, anything like that. And then teal, because it goes with all the colors that I mentioned before, the tan, the brown, the gold, and then it also goes with reds and pinks and purples, greens, blues, oranges, everything. So this color is very versatile. And then when I show you guys the actual palette as a whole, you can see all the colors actually work very well together. Funny thing is, we all actually thought of our colors outside of being together. We all went home. You can tell right now it's no longer September. We didn't really rush this at all. That way we could make sure everything was up to par and how we really wanted it. None of us had to stray away from our original idea, and all of the colors can mix and match and you can use them with one another. And that, I think, is amazing. So that goes you to show that we all are very, very great at communicating what we want, which is very helpful when working on a project like this. And I'm very thankful that I got to work with the people I worked with, because they made it very, very easy. And then you'll probably also notice that there are 3 other colors in this palette. There's 2 blushes and then a highlighter. There's a nice plummy kind of blush, a peachy blush, and then a nice goldy silvery highlight. And the highlight is actually kind of warm and cool. It's very neutral because the color itself has a little bit of warmth to it, but the sparkle has a little bit of a coolness to it, so it works with more skin tones. And then that way you can also use it as a brow highlight instead of just a highlight right here. And then you can also use it as a highlight on your lips as well. Another thing you guys probably noticed from me holding this palette up so much is it actually comes with two brushes. This one, which is an eyeshadow brush. It's a nice flat brush so that way you can really pack the color on, and then you can also blend with this as well. Then you also get this, which is a large angled contour brush, so you can use it for your blush, you can use it for highlight, contour, and anything like that. It's nice and fluffy. And then one more perk about this palette is it has a mirror. It comes with the mirror, everything's all right here, and then on the back it has info about everyone who's collaborated on it. Does Say Candy from Head to Toe MAC NC40, Makeup by Tiffany D, myself, X Sparkage, and X Teener. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the price of this. The price of the palette is actually $59. And when you think about everything that comes inside of this, there's 2 brushes, 8 eyeshadow colors, 2 blushes, and a highlight, and then it's got the mirror, but we're not gonna count the mirror. That's a really good deal for only $59. But I'm gonna tell you this. If you use the code Petrilude when you purchase this palette, you'll get $10 off. But it's only for the first month that that code will work. So if you're gonna get it, you're probably gonna wanna get it right away, especially if you want the $10 off. And another reason you might wanna get it, if the $10 off isn't swaying you enough, is this palette is limited edition. So once it's gone, it's gone. So now you know why I went to Paris, you know what I did when I was there, and you saw the final product I did. Oh, wait, wait a minute, I forgot. This also comes with it. This is a little booklet right here. This comes with the palette. And then inside, on the first page, it tells you about the product, it tells you, or the project itself, and it tells you who is all involved. But when you flip through, it's got a photo of each one of us, and then our monument, and our photo was taken at our monument. Then it's got our eyeshadow crushed up, and then a quote from every one of us. So there's me, it's from Head to Toe, Does Say Candy, X Sparkage, Group Shot, we have MAC NC40, Makeup by Tiffany D, X Teener, and then even more about the palette. And that's it. So I hope you guys check it out. There are links in the video description to all the other YouTubers' YouTube channels, and then also to Sigma's website, so that way you can actually go and pick up the palette yourself. And remember, if you get it within the first month of its release date, $10 off, which is a deal because you're saving money and you're getting a lot. That's it. And until my next video, I will talk to all of you soon. Bye. Oh, and P.S. These glasses are my I don't feel like drawing my eyebrows on today glasses, so that's why I'm wearing them.